Next, we're going to talk about driver policy making.
Perfect.
Another important thing to go over with drivers is your company policy, the rules of the road, if you will. Ultimately, the way you control your business is up to you, and that's just as true with fueling as anything else. Let's jump to another quick poll really quickly. And the question is, does your company have a policy for driver behavior? And this is just a simple yes or no question that you can respond to. And right now it looks pretty easy. Basically, the current events, it's about 68% say yes, so the majority of the companies do have one, and that's great. And it's important to create a policy for your driver that holds, it's important to create a policy for your driver that holds true for anyone who operates one of your company's vehicles. So what should you put into a policy like that? Let's take a look at a couple examples of what you could do. First of all, it's important to make sure your drivers know what their responsibilities are when they're on the job. Make sure they know where they are authorized to buy fuel, when they are authorized to buy fuel, and how much fuel are they authorized to purchase. The policy should even touch on what happens if the driver pumps premium unleaded versus regular unleaded. And that can have an impact of anywhere between 25 to 30 cents a gallon if they pump the wrong stuff. You might want to investigate something like a fleet card program that can take care of those controls. Take a look at the driver's role in the maintenance scheduling. Having policies in place for driver habits is important as well. Make sure that drivers know to inspect their vehicles regularly and, of course, drive safely by adhering to speed limits and other traffic laws. Another important habit to address is engine idling, and we touched on that earlier. And you might not even notice those losses happening until you are on top of these things and starting to see the benefits of fuel efficiency.
Yeah, Paul, I've got an actual example of a fleet here that implemented a driver policy and had real good results with it. It was a school district in Alabama. They saved over $12,000 a year by having their bus drivers turn off the engines while waiting at the school to pick up students. That's a lot of money, in a school district budget these days, and I know that they appreciated those savings.
Hey, Benton, that is a great example of how little changes can make a pretty big difference. And it really shows that that difference can happen both in the public sector as well as the private sector. It's also important to have a policy outside the work hours. Drivers who take their vehicles home at the end of the day might end up purchasing an extra fill-up before the weekend for personal use. They assume that it's okay to use the company fuel money to fill up the vehicle, but obviously it's a waste of the company resources. So make sure that you have a policy in place to keep on top of your fuel budgets. Once you have that set up, you will see those little bits of waste starting to disappear really quickly.
Good point, Paul.